right, back again for this lesson, geometry applications and solving formulas. All right, this is going to be a lesson that kind of combines the things that are in previous lessons. Once again, please subscribe, like, and comment, and also get the notification. Click the notification bell. All right, so here we go. So the formula for area of a triangle is A area of a triangle. Let me write that correctly. Formula is A equals half of the base times the height. If I say that the area is 30 and the base is 8, and I ask you what is the height, what would you do? Well, hopefully all you would do is plug in the information that is given, write down the formula, plug in the information that is given, and then solve for the variable. So you have half of 8 is 4. Then you have, it's saying 4 times what gives you 30. You divide both sides by 4. H equals 30 divided by 4. And 30 divided by 4 should be 7.5. 30 divided by 4. That's 7, that's 28. 2, 7, and 2 fourths. So 7.5. That would be your answer. All right, so that's how we start. We set up for our first type of problem. Okay. So if there's a soccer field in the shape of a rectangle, the area of it is 9,000 yards. Okay, the length is 120 yards. The question is, what is the width of the field? So area equals length times width. The area is given as 9,000. The length is given as 120. The width we don't know. But we know that we can multiply them, but we can multiply the length times the width. So we're going to we're going to divide both sides by 120 to find out what the width is. I need to get my calculator out, don't I? It'll be a lot easier. 9,000 divided by 120. W equals 75. So the width would be 75 yards. And if you multiply them together, you should get 9,000. All right. So that's what we were working on. Working on geometry, working on word problems, putting together word problems, geometry word problems. All right, the next one, it says Stuart wants to put a rectangular safety fence. Rectangular safety fence around his backyard pool. He calculates he will need 120 feet of fencing. And the length is going to be 4 feet longer, 4 feet longer than the width. Now, do we know what the width is? No, we do not know what the width is. Now, what we know is that it's 120 around, so that's the perimeter. The formula for perimeter is P equals 2L plus 2W. Okay? So what we know is the length is 4 plus the W, and 2 times whatever the W is, or the width. And so this is our equation. Our perimeter is 120. Okay, hopefully you can get that. Or matter of fact, why not I just rewrite it? $120 equals 4 plus W plus 2W. Okay, so in these formulas, you might want to get a formula chart from offline or in the back of your book. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times W is 2W. So you have 2W plus 2W, 4W plus 8. I'm going to subtract 8 from both sides. Get a little small there. This is 112. So 112 4W, divide both sides by 4. So I'm going to do 112 divided by 4. Saying the width is 28. So we're saying the width is 28. And so we're saying that the length is 32. Saying that the length is 32. Length is 32. All right, let's see if that's right. If we add them together, that's 60, and 60 times 2, because if this side is 28 and this side is 32, and this side would be 28 and this side would be 32, that gives us 120. So then this answer is right here. These answers are correct. Okay, moving along. Solving problems involving angle measures. Angle measures. Do you remember the measurement of a triangle? Okay. All right. So the measure inside the triangle is 100. That's just degrees. 180 degrees. So if we add all of these up, I'm always talking about I don't have enough space, right? So maybe I should start over here. So I have x plus 4x plus 9 plus 41 equals 180. Solve in parentheses, nothing outside the, or exponents, nothing. Multiplication, nothing. Adding or subtract, so there's nothing to combine, so we can drop these and combine like terms. That's 5x plus 50 equals 180. The goal is to find out what these two measurements are. But in order to do that, we have to find out what x is. So we're going to subtract 50 from both sides. We end up with 5x equals 130 we're going to divide both sides by 5. That's division property of equality. 130 divided by 5. That's going to be 26. So this measurement is 26. This measure is 4 times 26 plus 9. So 4 times 26 plus 9. It says that it's 113. So let's see. 113, 41, 26. If we add those together, does it give you 180? It does give you 180. So all this work would be correct. Very good. Okay. Are you staying with me? Hopefully you haven't quit on me yet, or I'm not too boring, but I'm sure at some point I am, because you know everybody doesn't like math, and I sometimes get monotone. You know, when I'm teaching. I don't even like that about myself. You know, I wish, you know, some of y'all were in the classroom. Well, hopefully you are in the classroom. I like one-on-one teaching or just classroom teaching, if you more than anything, because at least I can talk to you and find out what it is that you don't understand. Okay. All right, so these angles are, as you can see, they even make a V. They're right directly across from each other. Those are vertical angles, so they equal each other. Vertical angles equal each other. Vertical angles equal each other. So we're going to solve it by writing 6x minus 9 equals 5x plus 1. And if you have a graphing calculator, all you have to do is type in y1 or y equals, sorry, and then this will be y1, this will be y2, and there's some steps that you can find, kind of go through to find out what x is without doing the handwritten work. But we're going to do the handwritten work here on the board. We're going to subtract 5x from both sides because we want our x to be positive. Okay, and it's not asking us what x is. It's asking us what's the measurement of these angles. So x equals 10. This is true, x equals 10, but it's not what it wants to know. It wants us to plug back the 10. Okay, so this is 60 minus 9. That's 51. This is 50 plus 1, and that's 51. So the angles are 51 degrees. Okay? That's why we talk about checking your work, because as these problems get a little more challenging, really, you're not going to have a choice. Like in this, you don't have a choice. Like you have to check your work, because checking your work is the answer. All right, here's a word problem. The supplement, may have to go back in your notes. The supplement, that means two angles that equal 180 degrees. The supplement of an angle is 34 degrees more than twice the complement, which was 90 degrees. Two angles equal 90 degrees. Complement of the angle. Like, you know, right, really large, then I get small as I get to the edge of the board. They want us to find the measure of the angle. All right, so the supplement means that we have to write it as, if we want to know the supplement of an angle, we have to say x minus 180. Okay, because if we know what one degree, one of the degrees is, we can subtract and find out what the other degree is. Same thing holds true to the complement. So the supplement is x minus 180. The supplement of an angle is 34 more than twice the complement of the angle. So here's your equation. And so solve inside the parentheses, no, exponents, no, multiplication, which in this case is distribution, 2x minus 180, 34, and that's x minus 180. So here we have 34 minus, okay, we have, that's interesting, because I can already see the answer. So if we go, could have kept that, 180 minus 34. Okay, so that's going to equal negative 146 plus 2x 180. So it's x minus 180 equals negative 146 plus 2x. Okay, I am going to, is that right? Yeah. I'm going to have minus x. Oh, remember. Let's see. Something's missing. Make sure you got what's missing. Oh, okay. That's what it was. I sometimes forget to write it correctly. It wouldn't make sense to be x minus 90. And I think I do that pretty much every semester too. Like I haven't learned my lesson. It's 180 minus x, and it's just 90 minus x. It's 180 minus the angle. Come on, Mr. Glenn. So that's 180 minus 2x. So that's 180 minus x. So I'm adding these two together. That gives me 214 minus 2x. Okay. We're gonna do plus 2x, right? Plus 2x plus 2x. So this is x equals 180. Just because of space. X equals 34. So the angle that we're talking about is 34. Okay. So this angle is 180 minus 34, and it's going to be, that's 6. That's going to be 146, and the other one is 90 minus 34, and that's going to be 56. Okay. Now moving on to something just a tad bit more complicated, because we have been working with letters and numbers, but there hasn't been a time in this lesson or the previous lessons that we've talked about just solving for a variable when there are only variables. Like, for example, I give you what I'm saying, ax plus b equals c, but I want to solve for x. So that means that I want to get x by itself. So I would draw a box around x, right? So in order to get the variable x by itself, I'm doing the same processes. I'm subtracting b from both sides, but b is not like c. So I have to say c minus b. What I'm left with is ax equals c minus b. I'm getting x by itself. I divide both sides by a. X equals c minus b over a. That would be my answer. Okay. So, with that being said, I'm going to give us a little more challenging. This is kind of challenging. I'm going to give you another challenging problem. It is u equals half of L I squared. And they want us to solve for L. So on this one, I'm going to solve for L. All right, so this is multiplication all the way across. All right. So what we can do is we can first eliminate the fraction and multiply both sides by 2, right? Because that is the reciprocal. So you have 2u, this reduces out, we end up with li squared, li squared. And so remember, we want to solve for the L, so we're going to now divide both sides by what? Because we're multiplying, remember? So we're going to divide both sides by I squared. So our answer ends up being 2u over I squared. That's your answer. Okay, and there's no way to check it other than to resolve it. Okay, pretty challenging. I get it. All right, so the next one is the formula of a trapezoid. There's a couple ways to solve it. This problem. A equals 1/2 h base 1 plus base 2. Solve for B1, the first base. So we want this one, okay? So the first thing that we can do is that we can multiply both sides by 1/2, okay, or the reciprocal of this. So we're going to multiply this by 2, 1/2 by 2, and this side by 2. So you end up with 2a equals h, because this reduces out, h times b1 plus b2. All right. So you could distribute, but there would be no need to. We'll divide both sides by h. Reduces out. We end up with b base 1 plus base 2 equals 2a over h. And we're going to subtract b2 from both sides. Looks weird, doesn't it? So we end up with this canceling out. We're left with b1 equals, because I'm subtracting this, 2a minus b2, because that's over 1 over h. So that could be our answer. That would be our answer. Okay. So if you could run it back, slow it down. In the comment section, let me know what you didn't understand. All right, and that's the lesson that's the end of this particular lesson. All right, thank you once again. Please subscribe, like, comment. Thank you for tuning in with driving. Thank you for tuning in with Driving Math with Mr. Glenn. You have a wonderful day. All right, bye. Deuces.